most?
I'm going to go with Haason Redick from Temple. And I've been a big fan of his since I watched the tape on Redick in December. And I was calling scout friends, like, have you seen him? What do you know about him? And some guys had seen him, some guys hadn't. I was very excited, and I was excited to see him show up and show out at the Senior Bowl. He did it again here at the Combine. The 40-yard dash is just one small example of his athleticism. Had a great broad jump, explosive 11'1" broad jump, very high on the vertical as well. And you see, I mean, he's got the feet. This is a former defensive back who's been playing a little bit of linebacker, a lot of defensive end. He's going to transition back to linebacker. I think he can play 4-3 will. I think he can play 3-4 inside backer, and I think he can play 3-4 outside linebacker or rush backer on sub packages. So to me, he's the new face of NFL versatility, a guy who can play all over the field and really be a weapon for a creative defensive coordinator to deploy all over the field.
That's the value that you were looking for. You're looking for blue chip players who can do a variety of different things, give you a different amount of plays to be able to make contributions. He can do that, whether it's an edge player, whether it's moving back to inside linebacker, or even playing in coverage, or coming off the edge. He has a lot of things that he brings to the table.
Locked himself into the first round today.
I mean, we discussed it in the moment, too. It's funny, you know, what used to be a negative and was described as a tweener, and where's his home, how's he going to fit in, is now a total positive, and versatility.
The game is changing.
The game has changed so much.
The spread offense has changed the game because now on defense you have to change the way that you approach the offense. How do you want to defend it? You have to put specialists in and allow them to do what they do. These teams are looking at those skills and trying to figure out how can I get the max out of him.
You watch a lot of college football. You call college football. It's a trickle up. You watch a lot of high school football too, and I in Texas. It's a trickle-up league where players and philosophies, you know, it trickles up from high schools and lower levels of college, and then it makes its way to the NFL last, and you guys have seen that. I mean, the trickle-up has really begun to change the NFL quite a bit.
Yeah, whatever you want to call them. Hybrid players, versatility players, you have got to be able to stay on the field. They want to, I would assume, have as few sub-packages as possible so you can keep guys and simply move them around on that chessboard as opposed to having to replace them. And it's kind of what we've been getting to all day today with the defensive ends, the defensive linemen.
Seeing it, I don't try to pay attention to it just because you never know what can happen. You know, people stop, rise, and fall every day, you know, depending on what a team needs or what a team thinks about somebody. So, you know, it's great to see those things. It's great to see that, you know, some people think I'm worthy of being a first-round draft pick, you know. Hopefully come draft time, that's what it is. But until then, I'm going to continue to just work hard, you know, and approach every day with a dominant approach. I think that I can get 4 or 5 tomorrow. I have a bigger goal set for myself, keeping that disclosed up. You know, if I hit it, then everybody will know. But I believe that I can get 4 or 5 tomorrow. Not making any promises, but I'm going to go out there and do my best.
Who's completely wired differently, a physical freak show. And guys like this get pushed up draft boards after the combine. But see, here's the thing, though. He's got a little cornerback in his background, too. So now teams can say, do we have a gigantic cornerback who's crazy explosive and long, or do we have a long, rangy, fast center fielder at the safety position? Well, that's going to be a fun discussion for those teams over the next few weeks.
Yeah, when you talk about jumping up the draft board, it's easy to make the parallel with his, you know, another UConn Husky, Byron Jones, comes here, verts out the plays, broad jumps out the plays, has a great 40,
Same
bang,
thing.
Before you know it, right up top is the top cornerback taken. Exactly. Let's get another one.
Adoree Jackson from USC. Adoree Jackson came in viewed as a world-class athlete, and he certainly lived up to that because he's a world-class athlete with exceptional playmaking ability. There you saw the time, 4.42, plenty fast enough. But I think the thing that is most impressive about him, how easily and effortlessly he does these drills. Turning, running, being able to make quick transitions, to burst, and then finding and locating the ball. These are late eyes. Doesn't matter. He catches the ball easily. You can see that he has all the tools that you want to develop and work with, W drill, all of those things. If I'm a coach and I want to have the ideal project to work with, I want to work with Adoree Jackson because he has all the physical tools that I want. He's a feisty playmaker, and he has big-time ability when he has the ball in his hands. I want to work with those kind of guys.
We didn't see a lot. I mean, there are so many. You obviously and DJ are kind of the centerpiece of our mock drafts at NFL.com, but we have not seen Adoree in a lot of first rounds in any mock drafts. Do you think he's working his way into there by the time the draft rolls around?
I think so. I had him at 31 in my last mock draft. Had him to Atlanta. A lot of the Atlanta Falcons fans were mad because they couldn't understand why I would put him there. But what you're trying to do with the mock draft at this part, you're just trying to get the names in the mix in the first round. I believe he's a first-round talent, not only as a cornerback but as a returner. That's enough to put his value in that first-round conversation.
All right, 2 drops. And Njoku, young. I think he tweeted he was the youngest player in this year's draft. I believe he's 20 years old. He's a puppy. He doesn't know how good he can be. I wonder how big he's going to get in that frame. What will he end up being? 260, 265. Right now he's 246. He ran 4.64. Dropped the ball a couple times in this drill. But this kid had the best day of anybody if you just want to go, hey, pure measurables and everything else. 4.42 at 234 pounds. I'm not sure the ball hit the ground all day. Ran routes with ease and precision. Caught everything. He's never done that before. He's not an inline guy, but he'll compete as a blocker, trust me, folks. And we've all been talking about him as kind of an early to mid-second round pick, and the more I've seen of him both at the Senior Bowl and here is I think he's a first-round guy all day long. And when you look at the numbers, O.J. Howard, inline guy, great, 4.51, outstanding. And Njoku, look at him jump 37.5. We knew that because of his high school, but 4.64 is outstanding.
So let's take a look at Ingram, Howard, and Njoku.
You're going to see, I think you're going to see, what, about a tenth of a second between each of them?
Well,
Ingram clearly.
You can see a
4.51
to fit a Howard in between Howard and Ingram.
Looked really good in the drills. Now, as far as a guy laterally that can make you miss, has an unbelievable amount of quickness and explosion, Alvin Kamara is special. I watched him against Texas A&M the first game he started for Tennessee this year, and I almost fell over. I hardly knew a thing about the kid, and I couldn't believe his natural talent. He typically catches the ball extremely well, and I think he's got first-round talent. Now, there's some answer. Why did he only start 8 games in his career at Tennessee? Why did he leave Alabama? You can start to pick apart everybody, but at the end of the day, this kid's got explosion. When I first saw him, I thought a bigger LaShawn McCoy, that kind of explosion. Now, this kid had a special day. He's just kind of showing off in the pass game. It's so easy for him. His feet in the running drills were crazy. Little arrow route. Here comes the out and up or the wheel. And he's just like, yeah, I got it. 1, 2, 3. Nothing dropped. Nothing hit the ground with McCaffrey today. I mean, you start. Here's Kaya. He'll make the. Now you see the clean feet right there, and it comes out beautiful.
Yeah, that's a nice one. He laid it in there too. It wasn't
catchable,
overthrown.
Yep.
Yeah, very catchable. Yep. Nice, accurate ball. He's got good rhythm and balance in his drop. You can see his shoulders stay level the whole time.
Get 2 strikes in a row.
Watch those guys. They keep their shoulders level. You can be pretty accurate.
Clean feet, clear vision. It's always pretty with him.
Yeah, that's 3 very good balls.
Right. Yep. It's as good as it gets, those 15. I've done 5 of his game tapes, and if he was here and didn't have medical or off the field, we'd be talking about Chad Kelly as a top 5 quarterback in this draft for sure. He's got a cannon. He might have the biggest arm in the draft. Now, the problem is 2 ACL injuries. He got kicked out of Clemson. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now a couple settle steps, drive it. That's a good look. Next game when they kept pulling wins out. I think, you know what, David? I think with Dobbs, the consistency of his footwork, and you can say this back, but the consistency of his footwork is what differentiates how the ball comes out of his hands.
No doubt about it.
Because he's got beautiful throws, and then.
You know, Evans is actually, for the, you can tell he's working through some things, but the down the field, you want to be able to let that thing go early, because as soon as you start to let that guy get to the extent of your range is when the ball starts coming out funny and you don't red range as he's about to let it go.
When you watch Dobbs here, David, one of the things I noticed when I was watching him is he'll bound a little bit away from the center with his drop.
Yeah, he's got a little bounce in him. He's an athletic guy, but drop-wise, you'd like to see it be a little bit more fluky.
Russell. I think there are a lot of teams interested to see how he looks this week because David and I talked about the injuries both years.